Lifeforce, naked, space, vampires. That's what Jason, shout out to Jason, told me. He's like, you need to watch it. He said 3 words for you: naked, space, vampires. Yeah. And I was like, I'm in. You had me at naked. And then he put his clothes back on. Hey guys, welcome to episode 4 of our reviews. Today we're going to be reviewing the 1985 classic, in our opinion, Lifeforce, directed by Tobe Hooper. And who's it starring, Rob?
Oh, God. Matilda May.
Matilda May. Guy played Colonel Kane, who's my favourite.
Yeah, Steve Railsback, is it?
Something Firth, if I remember rightly, his name.
Not Railsback, who's that?
He's Coulson, Colonel Coulson.
Coulson.
He's the American, isn't he?
Yes, yeah. We do have a bit of Patrick Stewart for the Star Trek fans.
Young Patrick Stewart.
This is pre-Picard and pre... what's the guy in X-Men?
Xavier.
Xavier.
So one thing I want to talk about first, Rob, is the main thing that I only found out last night that we were literally just talking about before we started, was that Dan O'Bannon writ it. And Dan O'Bannon obviously wrote Aliens, Return of the Living Dead.
He didn't do Aliens. He did Alien, Return of the Living Dead. Return of the Living Dead is his main baby.
IMDb says he wrote Aliens.
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe because of the characters.
Of course, maybe. Okay.
But I think it was. But I think Return of the Living Dead is his
magnum opus.
That's the one. I think. I mean, obviously he wrote Alien, and that's massive. And he had a bit to do with. I think he did Dark Star with. John
he did
Carpenter.
do Dark Star, yes.
And but I think his main. People will always remember him mostly for Return of the Living Dead.
Great
That's what I would say.
Let's get on to Lifeforce, Rob. Do you want to take it away?
I'm not the biggest fan of Lifeforce.
Oh, you're not?
Sadly not.
Okay.
Well, I first watched it many years ago, and I thought it was good. I did enjoy it. I watched it again to review this, and I wasn't, I don't know what it was.
You weren't blown away, Rob, is what you're trying to tell me.
No, not really, no. I mean, I feel like Lifeforce is a wasted opportunity slightly.
Okay.
Because Dan O'Bannon, obviously, to me, a legend in terms of horror writing and sci-fi. But I don't know if Tobe Hooper was the right man for the job. I think it's a great story.
Yeah.
It's based on a novel, The Space Vampires. And like I say, the first hour or so, so I'll start with the opening scene. So when the astronauts, because basically it's astronauts in space, and they come across a ship, don't they?
They're a ship called the Winston Churchill, by the way.
Churchill, yeah. And they basically, they find this ship and they go to it and they go to investigate. And that's where I sort of I don't know why I didn't pick up on it the first time, but this time, when they enter the ship, I was quite fascinated because the film looks so good.
Yes.
And considering the
aged well.
It's very much so, because considering the Canon Company are not known for spending money, because they basically they're quite cheap, aren't they, when it comes to making their films. Their films can look quite cheap, but in a great way. It's quite endearing, really. But in Lifeforce, when they go into the ship, the inside, the interior looks amazing, but there's so many fades ins and outs to each scene when they're in the ship. I sort of wanted Tobe Hooper to sort of spend time in the ship, let us explore it, like Ridley Scott did in Alien. You got to know the alien ship a little bit, the Nostromo and things like that. You got to like a little tour of it. And
you wanted them to spend more time on the alien ship or the Churchill?
No, the alien ship.
Okay.
Because I think, it generally looks amazing. I was looking at it thinking, God, the design here is
does look really good.
Really well done.
Really good.
And I wanted more of it. And obviously they find these cocoons of these bats.
Yes, yeah.
Again, I wanted to see some more of that. And
because they're in it for the first scene, really.
Exactly, and to me, they're one of the scariest things in it.
Yes,
because just by looking at them, you're thinking that it doesn't look good. A bit like the alien egg in, obviously when John Hurt gets attacked by one of the facehuggers. That's how I felt about it. But like I say, the whole scene up until they actually decide what they're going to do, the astronauts, because they're trying to figure out, because they find. In what are they? They're like mirror glass,
crystal ads. I don't like crystals.
Like coffins,
crystal coffins.
Yeah, and they've got 3 people inside them: 2 men and a woman. And the woman played by Matilda May.
Yes.
And for anyone who knows the movie, obviously Matilda May is topless for, I would say,
for everything,
80% of this movie.
Yes.
And
Jason's favourite part is Matilda May.
Right. Yes. Understandable, of course. But the thing is with that movie is like you say, when they're in that ship, I just wish I saw more. Because I feel the film had more to give. Yeah. And that's why I think it's a sort of a wasted opportunity, especially in the opening scene, because I just think, they could have spent more time on it. And the movie itself, like I say, it doesn't really kick in until after an hour. Okay. Until everything goes chaotic in London.
Yeah.
that's when it really starts to go, you know.
It's an hour and 56 minutes, the film.
That's right, yeah. All hell breaks loose, obviously, when, you know, things happen in London, when the two male men who they take into the ship, they obviously, what was it now? They sort of take on the life force of a soldier, don't they?
Yes, yeah.
And then they start, you know, they obviously pass it through all of London, and before you know it, London is all hell breaks loose.
My main gripe with the film is I do love it a lot. I really like Lifeforce, but again, it's the bit with the London. I don't like how it goes from being this like dark sci-fi horror-esque film to an all because they look like zombies. I think
they do. Yeah, I know obviously it's based on a book called The Space Vampires.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's based on a book called The Space Vampires. I'm not too sure who wrote it, but for me, like, it's not vampires because, I mean, to me, vampires is Lost Boys. It's From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, because these vampires don't drink blood; they take the essence of life from you,
yeah. which is like vampires.
The life force.
Yeah,
that's what they take. That's why the film's called Lifeforce.
And so that, I mean, it wasn't a big bother sort of thing. But obviously, when I first watched it, I was expecting vampires everywhere. I was expecting the Vangs and things like that. You know, expecting Christopher Lee kind of vibes. But I didn't get it, but I didn't mind because I thought, you know, it was still an interesting take on the idea. And but the first movie is like, it's quite. Like, sorry, the first hour of the film, you've got all these, like, you know, they're trying to investigate, they're doing tests.
Yeah, which is it's Colonel Coulson's crew, isn't it?
That's right, yeah, because Coulson...
he's American, but he's on a British ship,
That's right, yeah, because, obviously, because he escapes in a pod, doesn't he?
Yes.
And that's found, and he's taken to London, where he has to basically explain the mission and what happened. And obviously, and as the film progresses, he's not telling everyone the full story, because really... When they put the vampires basically onto the Winston Churchill,
because when they found the Churchill, the crew members were all charred up, weren't they? Burned alive.
Here's something for you. Did you find it weird that the place where they held the vampires on the Winston Churchill was called the Tug Room?
Well, there was a lot of men on the ship.
I just thought it was a funny thing to be called, especially as you walk in and Matilda May is there naked throughout the whole movie, basically. And, you know, I had a little chuckle to myself. Well, very immature.
Yeah, we know why it's called the Tug Room.
Exactly. But like I say, as the film progresses, you find out more about Coulson's relationship with her.
Yes.
Because she keeps him alive, doesn't she? She's killing everyone in sight.
They're feeding off each other, aren't they?
Exactly. But she's keeping him alive because obviously she wants to use him for something else in the movie. And yeah, like, I mean, there are many... I'll tell you a great scene, I loved it.
Hit me with your rhythm stick, Daddy.
The helicopter scene.
Oh, yes, when the... Yeah,
she
the blood comes out.
Blood. I think that is like one hell of a horror scene. The music, the direction.
The one thing I'll say about that scene, the Patrick Stewart dummy is not believable.
No, I mean, again, that's the canon side of things.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I thought Patrick Stewart is a Shakespearean actor. You know, he is a man of theatre on the stage, and he is now a sir in this country. And his acting is, you know, a lot to be said for in this movie. I think it's quite, you know, it's not the Patrick Stewart I know.
No.
But then again, maybe he knows the kind of film he's in, so he doesn't need to really act up too much.
Because he's in mental asylums, like, boss, in a sense,
yeah,
isn't he?
Well, he is her, isn't he? Really?
Yes.
She's taken on his persona, so she can sort of, you know, get through the UK, because obviously she can't walk around naked all the time, as much as we all want.
Because Coulson can censor, can't he?
Exactly, yeah. So there's that connection. And but I will say, for one, I mean, like I say, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I'd say it definitely is very original.
Very good.
But it's also, because it chops and changes so much into story. You've got space, you've got experiments, you've got chaos in London. You know, it's how many different films is it in one?
Can I just say as well, one of my favourite characters in any movie, Colonel Kane, the leader of the SAS, such a badass in that film. I think he's really a really cool character. No, he's just cool and smooth, isn't he? Yeah. Like the bit where Coulson's trying to find out if that girl in the dorm is the vampire, and he's like, "You might want to leave." He's like, "No, I'm quite privy to this kind of stuff," and he sits back down.
He brought in the lightheartedness a little bit. Right? But also, I think like Coulson's character throughout the whole movie, he's stressed, isn't he, throughout the whole film?
Yes, yeah.
Because obviously he knows.
Yeah, he knows he's keeping stuff from him.
Yeah, so he's trying to be the bad guy and the good guy. I mean, obviously, everything he's doing is for, he knows he is trying to be the best person he can be in the movie to be, to get things right. But obviously, he is fixated on Matilda May, and naturally, because she's a beautiful woman and she's showing him affection and things like that, and obviously the power that she has.
Because she tells him she loves him, doesn't she?
Exactly.
But she's just doing it to manipulate him.
And Coulson obviously doesn't feel like, that he's obviously been treated a different way because he's killing everyone else but not him.
Yes.
So obviously there's a bond there. And but the effects, the opening scene, it was like a superhero film. The way the credits sort of shoot out, it's like a Superman theme. I thought, it felt very much like that.
The first bit of the film, when they're going into the alien spaceship, I got very... Did you watch Black Hole, the film that's on Disney, the one that Jason recommended?
No, but you know what? I've never seen it, but I hear about that film more and more every year.
It's very much like that, the beginning bit.
Okay.
That's what it reminded me of a lot.
Right.
And I just had I just had a vibe of that about it, because I think Black Hole's like the 70s, and I was going to say it's the same era, but I suppose it's not really.
I've seen clips of Black Hole,
Yeah.
and you can definitely see the vibe. It's the same.
Yeah. What else about the film, Rob? Tell me what you didn't like.
I didn't like I say I didn't like the scenes when we go into London and where everything's just going crazy. I didn't like the pace changed quite abruptly. Really, I was quite enjoying the experimenting scenes, like where they're trying to figure out more and more about basically where they came from and why they're there.
Yeah.
And Coulson's obviously trying to explain what's happening. He's telling the story he's telling the story to the commanders and the people in charge, what's happened, and then they go back into flashbacks.
The flashback,
things like that, and they're really good because, to be honest with you, I forgot that happened in the original watch.
Yeah,
and so when I was watching it again, I thought, oh, I hope they go back. But then I thought to myself, no, they don't, and then they did. And I really, really liked that because it explained the story better. Because the movie's quite long; it's nearly 2 hours.
Yeah.
And for a canon movie, really, I don't think they were massively hyped on making long movies.
No.
But I'd definitely say, for the faults that I find with it, and like the acting, I'm not a big fan of. I think it's quite amateurish in many scenes, including Patrick Stewart. But I still think because
Patrick Stewart's not going to subscribe now.
Well, Picard, please. We will review. What film's he been in?
Green Room.
Green Room.
We could do Green Room.
Oh, there's an idea. Sorry. But yes, there's just a lot of amateurish feels about the movie, but that's okay. I don't mind that because I understand. Like I say, again, canon weren't making masterpieces. They weren't making Lawrence of Arabia or Alien. They were making their own type of films, and Lifeforce is a perfect example of the movies they were making. But it just wasn't for me, I don't think. I enjoyed Invaders from Mars much more. Again, another canon film. Again, directed by, as you said before, Tobe Hooper. I got more from it. I got more from those movies, really. And
I think Invaders from Mars is a lot more kid-friendly as well, though, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. Correct. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely aimed at that.
There's not loads of boobies like
no.
And
there's what was they going to say about the movie itself? Is lost my train of thought. That happens often.
Well, I'm going to throw something out there for you right now. Okay, the main doctor, the one who at the end when Colonel Kane goes back and he's a vampire and he's hiding in the shadows.
Yes.
You know what really confused me about him?
Okay.
When that one of the vampires opens the door and he walks into the room and then he rings Colonel Kane. He's like, I know how to kill him.
Yeah.
Where in God's name did he find that massive iron lance in the middle of a space facility?
Yes, that's right.
Like he doesn't explain it. There's no foreshadowing that he has this weapon. Because he just rings him up and goes, "Yeah, I've killed him."
Yeah,
and he tells him how
because the weapon obviously plays a big part in the end scene, and
because Colonel Kane takes it, doesn't he? He's like, I'll take this. It's a good weapon.
Uses it on outside the church.
Yeah, on the main,
and then on the inside part.
Great effects on the lad vampire on the steps where he stabs him and turns that big.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, obviously, this is probably budget reasons, but I'd like to have seen more of that bat.
Yeah, again, yeah. Well, I suppose that's what those bats were on the.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and it was very frightening, I thought.
Yeah, very.
That's the kind of thing I got from that. But I love the scene as well when he's going into the church, and he sees the big because obviously by this time the ship's come down and it's connected to Earth and
all the dead bodies in the pews.
Like a big blue beam going up. I thought those effects were great.
Cool.
I really did like it. But like I say, I mean, and I'm not shitting on the film. I'm not. I mean, it's just not a movie that I would revisit again. Probably. I think that's my time with Lifeforce come to an end.
Oh, really? Okay.
I mean, unless my son wants to watch it or a friend of mine says, let's watch Lifeforce.
I feel like watching that with Howell William might be an awkward experience. There's a lot of booby.
Yes.
A lot of booby and bush.
I wasn't thinking of that when I actually said it 5 seconds
ago. A lot of booby and bush.
So if I could rewind this, I really would.
James just cut this bit out.
But if you go, I will recommend it to him maybe, and he can
He
make
can
it
watch
up
with his friends.
make up his own mind. Yeah, that'd be an interesting party. But no, I really think, like I say, I think it's a film for certain fans of certain genres.
Yes.
Like if you like a bit of what do you call it, schlock?
Schlock, innit?
Yeah,
Schlock,
if you like that kind of thing, I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
But and I'm not saying that I like to watch serious films. I'll watch anything. And but this film, like I say, it just changes its pace in different stories, it feels like there's like 3 or 4 different genres in the movie.
I get you.
And I struggle with that sometimes because I like a movie just to be quite, just to be focused on one.
Yeah.
I don't mind the odd little bit, like from Dust Till Dawn, for example. It's like a crime movie, isn't it? Like a kidnap movie to begin with.
And then 40 minutes before the end, it's horror film.
Exactly. So I'm okay with things like that. But Lifeforce, I mean, I wish I could. I can't really explain sometimes how I feel about it. Sorry, on this occasion, I can't explain it because
This would be a really weird review if it's just you going, I don't know.
No, because I watched it and I was just like,
it's all right. Is that what you like?
And that's what I mean. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
I just thought, it could have been. I just think under the guidance of a different director, maybe a different studio, it could have been a bigger.
Would you like to see a remake?
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
And I think Lifeforce would actually benefit from being a TV series.
Give me the director. If it was going to be a film, who would you pick?
Well, see, it's not going to be a big director now. It's going to be a director. You know what? Give it to, say, Lee Winnell.
Cool.
Lee Winnell,
cool choice.
Or Ben Wheatley.
Nice, yeah.
Ben Wheatley, because Ben Wheatley's done a bit of, he's done his kill list. He's got, what's that new movie coming out? It looks amazing.
I don't know what you're on about. It's
cool.
cool.
If we remember, we'll put it in the link. But he's done some work on Doctor Who.
Cool.
So, Doctor Who, I mean, to be fair, you know what? I get a lot of Doctor Who vibes from a bit of Lifeforce.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. And, I think it helps that it's in Britain as well, though. That's why you get a lot of it, don't you?
And I think if someone under a different director, because if you watch, I'm a massive fan of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
I like the sequel, but the sequel and the original are 2 different films.
Yes. One's a comedy.
One's a comedy, exactly, and it's it's very pop culture. The second one. But the first one is just it's just grim. It's like I spit on your grave kind of thing. Last house on the left. And I like that kind of director that Hooper was in that film, and I wasn't a big fan of the director he is in this film. So I think another director, like I say, Dan O'Bannon, he's got a vision. Clearly, his resume speaks for itself. And I think what he has done in the past.
Dan O'Bannon's passed away now, hasn't he?
He has. Yeah. He did. It was quite a while ago. But I think, like I say, I think it would benefit from being a TV series, and I would watch the TV series because I think, like I say, I would want to see more. And if that meant I got to see more in the ship, that would be great.
That'd be cool.
I think Shudder could maybe do something like that.
Yeah.
They're making waves with Creepshow and things like that.
Call us Shudder.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely got a fan base for it to be for people to enjoy it as well.
So let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Right.
How many charred crewmates out of 10 are you gonna go for?
I'll give it 5.
To kiss your mumma with that mouth, Rob?
No, you've got to be honest. I mean,
you have.
And the thing is, like I say, again, I didn't hate it, didn't love it. It's in the middle.
Yeah.
Because there were scenes in the movie that I did enjoy. I mean, to be fair, I'd say about 80% of the time we don't watch films that we completely love, not from start to finish.
Yeah.
And there's a lot. Basically, we sometimes I find it hard to watch a perfect movie because I think they're so good. It's like, my God, it's like you feel like you don't need to watch anything else because you've watched the greatest film ever. So sometimes I like to watch a movie that has got a bit of bad and a bit of good, and then then you can dissect it afterwards and then sort of think about it a bit more. But I know people might not agree with the Lifeforce opinion, and that's fine, of course. But I don't know. I just feel it's a wasted opportunity.
And you're entitled to your opinion, young man.
Thank you.
And it's a good one because I loved Lifeforce when I first watched it. Yeah. I thought this is great. I don't think it was because I was about 19 and those boobies. Might have been that. So I really enjoyed it. But on second viewing, it's gone down a bit for me.
Really?
It's gone down.
Wow.
Not loads, but in my head, I thought this is such a unique thing. But again, for me, it feels like a load of jumbled up stuff mushed together.
Yeah, that's where I suffered as well. Because it, like I say, you want it to be just stick to one area basically, and it sort of chops and changes too much. I think.
And I've tried to be honest with all of my ratings for this. And that's why I gave Jordan 8.5. Like I said, I got some slack for not giving it a 10, but I don't care. No. So I'm going to give this film. If you'd asked me before I watched this one time, I would have given it an 8. I'm going to give it a 6.5.
That's a lot lower than I thought you would.
A 6.5
Right, wow.
charred crew members out of 10.
Okay, yeah.
We're trying to go on like a theme of things from the movies. So let us know if you like it. If not, we'll just go back to the numbers or something.
I really like it.
So yeah, I like the film. Like, I will watch it again, unlike you. I will go back to it because I enjoy the film. But there's so many things wrong with it. Like I said, I don't like the fact that like all the way through it, these people are turned into like normal vampires, and then you get to the town and they're basically like Children of Dawn of the Dead zombies, like all the bad makeup. And again, it might be the canon thing, but just don't show him. If you're not going to do it, just don't show. And that's what done it a lot for me, because I was like, oh, this, because I started it last night and I was like, this is amazing. And then I started watching it, I was like, it's all right. It's a good film. It's an okay film, and that's why I get to 6.5.
Yeah.
And if I get a bit of hate for it, I tell you what, I will delete the channel. No, I won't.
No. But again, I think with the movie is that again, I think it really would benefit. I don't think we'll see realistically a TV series of it. But also I think it's an interesting film because you can dissect it quite a lot. Because there's so much going on. You could easily make, do an essay on a movie like Lifeforce.
Yeah, because it's batshit crazy.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean,
pardon the pun with the batshit.
But I think that it's a film of so many different stories. Not so many different stories, but I just think it's a film that is, it's so flawed that it can be dissected and people can talk about the good parts, the bad parts, the do's, the don'ts, and it's an interesting film in Hooper's filmography.
Yes, definitely.
Because obviously he did Poltergeist in the 80s, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2,
allegedly Poltergeist.
But like I said, what other films did Hooper make after
The
that?
Mangler.
The Mangler, yes, with Robert Englund.
Yes, yeah. He also did he direct Body Bags?
I think he had a segment, didn't he?
Yeah,
I think it was him, Carpenter.
The Toolbox Murders, I like that. I thought it was good.
I've never seen it. That did quite well.
Sherry Moon Zombie dies in the first 5 minutes, so it's pretty good.
I think she's in it.
Yeah, she's in it for like 10 minutes.
It's a remake, isn't it?
Yes, the original isn't great, but you can get it on Arrow and stuff, I think.
Is that by Tobe Hooper, the original?
No, the original's not. No, I think the original's like early. But I was going to say early 70s. Jessica Chainsaw Massacre's early 70s, isn't it?
I remember when the Toolbox Murders came out. Again, I've not seen it, but I think it did quite well because I think it did well on the back of Saw.
I like the Toolbox Murders. The second one's not good though. Second one's not right. So yeah, that's our review on the 1985. It's still a classic, even though I say low scores. It's still good scores.
To be fair, whether our opinion aside, if the film has got an audience and it's got a cult following, then technically, in their eyes, it's a classic. And it's a classic of its time and of the type of movie that it is.
Plus, it's made by someone that's possibly one of the masters of horror.
If you watch the documentary Electric Boogaloo, which sometimes just pop up on Film 4, you get to know a bit more about the Canon Group, and they do talk about Lifeforce.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
Especially with Tobe Hooper. And they talk about how mad the film is. I think there's an interview with Matilda May as well.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So, again...
Clothes on?
Yeah. Yes.
Good. So yeah, I'd like to know if you want us to review Green Room, mainly because it's a good film, and mainly because Rob got really excited about it.
Yeah, because Green Room, Anton Yelchin, God bless him.
Great film. It's a great film.
It's a great movie. It's not a film you would expect the likes of Patrick Stewart to be in. If you have any films in particular, we have had a bit of a list at the moment.
We have got a list from people, quite a few people have met.
Yeah.
We've got The Shining, which is one which I would quite like to do.
A guy called Kev Hughes. You mentioned Scarface, that's going to come up. My friend Frenchie has mentioned Carlito's Way.
Oh, great film. I've only watched that once. I've been interested in watching
that'll hopefully be coming soon. But yeah, if you have any suggestions, please leave a comment. And
or inboxes. If you don't want to leave comments, just give us a message. That's fine.
We will get to it.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe, like and share. Helps us out a lot. And we love you.